Hello, there we are. Hey everyone, welcome. Like, wait a minute, it froze. I did not get my little 30-second intro. I think the internet's still a little glitchy. It was like sticking, so I'm just here without the intro. Welcome to day 5 of the Manifesting with the Moon workshop. Can you believe it? Day 5 already. So let me get back to the right spot so I can hopefully see everything as you come in. Say hello, just an emoji or hi or anything at all. And if you opened the emails this morning, go ahead and answer the clue or give me the information to the clue. If not, that's okay. Let's see, where are we? Find ourselves here in the group. There we are. Awesome, awesome. Okay. All right, we're good. So we're going to wrap up the 5-day workshop today, and then I have some information for you of the ways you can keep working with this information, put it into practice, different ways that you can continue participating in the community. There are many, I shouldn't say many, there are several. There is a choice of levels or ways that you can continue to do that. So let's get started. If someone invited you along the way or tagged you, or you have found your way to this challenge, after we started with day 1, welcome. My name is Patty Diaz, and I specialize in helping you find and tap into your personal magic. And for me, magic consists of manifesting in the moon, abundance, gratitude, intention, and clarity so that you can create and live a life designed by you instead of one designed for you, and unapologetically live that life to its fullest, doing whatever makes you happy. So if that resonates with you, that is what we've been talking about. And just to recap what we covered this week, we started on Monday with full moon forgiveness and gratitude. Typically, we start with new moon information, but Monday happened to be the full moon. So we flipped it and went with it, right? Instead of on the full moon day talking about new moon stuff. So we started with full moon forgiveness and gratitude. It also shows how you can jump right in. You don't have to wait for a new moon to start doing some work with the moon and the lunar cycles. Day 2, we did go back around and talk about new moon intentions. Then we talked about manifesting abundance with the moon and how that ties into the various types of abundance, feeling abundant, developing an abundant mindset and consciousness. Then yesterday, we touched on practices to help you connect with the moon. So today, we're tying kind of all of this together. We're tying this all together, and we're seeing how working with the moon can either be a spiritual practice or how you can incorporate it into the spiritual practice that you already have to add to it, not improve. I don't like that. I don't like the word. Just supplement, maybe, amplify it in a way. So let's get going. First of all, I did change this up. So if you have done prior rounds of this workshop, formerly known as a challenge, it's a lot of the same information. It's just formatted a little bit differently. And give me just 1 second. Eric's not here today. It sounds like there's going to be stuff going on outside. I'm going to close the door real quick. Hang out. Yay, okay, I'm back. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad at all. Okay, so here we go. That was on the fly, going live today. All right, so what I'm talking about, practice or working with the moon as a spiritual practice. First of all, why would I say that? How do I connect working with the moon and spiritual practices or spirituality in general? Well, the moon is a heavenly body. It's a celestial body up in the heavens. It I see it kind of like as a a bridge, a way to get my desires, my intentions, um, my requests for, for forgiveness and all the things to kind of get that out into the universe. It amplifies my feelings. It helps me tap into the emotions that are really a key component of manifesting, up leveling your life, and honestly developing and having a spiritual practice. Because if it doesn't feel good, if it doesn't bring up emotions, and if it doesn't feel good to your soul, then it really is not going to do you any good, right? I think of it as like just going through the motions if it really does not speak to you, if it doesn't tap into those emotions that help you, connect with a higher power, help you strengthen your faith, because going through the motions is not what does that. So for me personally, I'm not going to go into a whole deep dive, but so you know where I'm coming from, my personal, I guess, what do you want to call it? My personal experience, evolution, I don't know quite what the right word is, of my spiritual practice has been I did grow up going to, traditional church. I was baptized as a baby, Catholic, but I did not grow up going to Catholic church. We went to it was a Nazarene church, but not Catholic. Straight, Christian, regular, Nazarene church. And I enjoyed the learning. I enjoyed the connections with people. But a lot of times I had questions, or something wasn't explained so that it made sense to me. And when I did ask questions, I didn't ask a lot. I didn't actually vocalize them a lot. But when I did ask questions, I noticed that I really didn't get answers that satisfied me, if you will. If the, it's like, and not that everything needs to, satisfy me, but it didn't give me reassurance. What I was told frequently was, well, simply we have to have faith that this is the way and this is the answer and that this is how it is. And we have to just work on strengthening and developing that faith, which is fabulous. But how do you develop faith? In strength, by believing in it, right? By believing in it. And how can I believe all, when I have these questions? And so I got the sense, what the story that I developed was that it was not okay to ask questions. I also had the sense that everyone's practice had to look the same. Everyone did and was doing the same things, going to church, reading the Bible or going to Sunday school, singing hymns and all that, which is fabulous. They're great. But what about that component of personalization? What about the component of making it mine so that it means something to me? I didn't really feel like I developed any type of relationship with God or source or deity or anything, any spirit. Being I was doing what I was being guided and taught and urged to do. But it seemed like everything and everyone was doing the same thing. So that didn't, I believe most definitely in a higher power, in a higher source. That I never questioned. That does resonate with me. I have no issue. It's developing that faith and that connection that I was unable to do at that point. So fast forward to, I don't know, 5 or 6-ish years ago, I started getting into this personal development thing, right? Doing my personal development, personal growth, spiritual practices. And then I realized it doesn't have to look the same. When I start to personalize it, when I start to investigate, try different things that were not maybe in the framework of what I was brought up in, what I learned that way, then I realized, oh, this means more to me. I get more benefit. I actually look at my spiritual practice as a cornerstone of my life that way, as part of me, as part of my being. So now that's a very quick synopsis, sort of. Let me get into some ways that working with the moon can be a spiritual practice. Can even help you develop one if you don't. I'm going to start, like basically like step one, and then how you can build on that, and also show and incorporate how to make it your own. Because that is a key component as far as I'm concerned, making it your own. So first of all, let's see how to use the 4 main phases of the moon as a spiritual practice. And the 4 main phases are the same ones, sort of, that I talked about if you're tracking the moon with new, full, waxing, or waning. This breaks it down. It falls in the same, but it's a little bit different. So new, first quarter moon, full, and third quarter moon. So basically it still follows that pattern, but we're looking at a specific point in the waxing and in the waning phase. So new, that time, setting the intentions, planting those seeds of what it is that you want to call into your life, what it is that you want to embody, changes that you want to make, the person that you want to be, to attract and have those desires, right? So the new moon is really a great time to touch in and start to realize how powerful a person you are. Because if you think about it, we are divine beings because we are all part of the universe. So the universe is within us. We are within the universe. It's that interconnectedness that I talked about before. So realizing and tapping into and strengthening your knowledge and belief of how powerful a person you are, that you are also a divine being, and setting those intentions into becoming that, right? Becoming and up leveling and improving on that as we work with the moon. So the new moon is a time to start realizing and tapping into your own power as part of your spiritual practice, and work your magic, set your intentions, realize and I don't want to say let loose, but let out into the world, show the world the real you, the power that you have that has either not been nurtured or that you have been holding back. This is that process of becoming as we set those intentions to improve ourselves, to become better people. The first quarter moon is halfway between the new moon and the full moon. So the new moon's down here or up at the top, depending on how you look at it and where you are in the world. So halfway between the new moon and the full moon is the quarter moon. And the quarters, these are all quarters, but the first quarter and the third quarter are an exceptional time to practice gratitude. And I'm looking at my notes more because, like I said, I revamped this part. So the first quarter is a time to practice gratitude, show appreciation for the good things in your life, show appreciation for possibly those signs and evidence that we talked about as we get closer, as we approach the full moon. Maybe you're seeing signs and evidence of your intention that it's getting closer. And if you're not, practicing that gratitude ahead of time that we also talked about at the new moon when we set intentions. So showing your appreciation, and if you think about it, whether you have a connection or a relationship with a deity, with divinity, with a pantheon, anything, that is along those lines, the practice of gratitude in and of itself is a spiritual practice. So please don't feel, again, make it your own if that just does not resonate with you. Like, I don't have a connection to a higher power, or I have not gotten to a place where I feel that I can develop that. I don't have that nudge or that draw. Practicing gratitude as you set your intentions at the new moon, then practicing more gratitude at the quarter moon is a spiritual practice. And I wrote down something that made it make sense to me. So practicing gratitude is a spiritual practice because gratitude opens up your heart. And anything that opens up your heart, anything that helps you tap into that unending love that we can tap into to give and then subsequently receive is a spiritual practice. Practice gratitude. A lot of us are not taught how to actually practice gratitude by writing it down regularly, by being mindful of it and actually saying or writing or meditating on that feeling of gratitude. Because the more you tap into gratitude, the more open your heart becomes, the better life seems magically, whether your exterior circumstances have changed or not. And then possibly that's when you will start to develop that curiosity, that desire. Maybe you'll start getting those nudges if you do to actually then develop a practice or start a practice with the divinity or like the universe, God, goddess, earth, energy, whatever. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. See? But gratitude has no connection to any denomination. Gratitude has no association with a specific divinity. It has no association with a specific religion. Gratitude is universal. And when we start to practice it and make it a regular part of our daily lives, that's where we start to develop that spiritual practice, whether it's a connection with source or divinity or not. So that's the first quarter. Then comes the full moon. And remember, we talked about full moon forgiveness and more gratitude. You see how it's incorporated in each section, in each phase so far? So the full moon is surrendering, like we talked about. Surrender your desires, surrender your intentions, surrender your limiting beliefs, anything that is keeping you, surrender it over. When you surrender your intention, you're turning it over to a higher energy. You're turning it over to be worked and formed and worked on your behalf, right? And then surrender gets ego out of the way because with through our ego self, and that's the gist of having this human experience. We are all divine beings, right? We are living this human experience. And I think that is the crux of having the human experience is the ego, right? Because the ego wants to know exactly how things are going to happen. The ego wants to be in control of making things happen. So surrendering is that practice of letting go and getting ego out of the way. When we surrender our intentions, when we surrender our beliefs, the things that are getting in our way, and we surrender them and turn them over, then it gives room for, oh, I don't need to know how it's going to happen. I just know, because you start to develop that faith through the practice of gratitude. And following the lunar phases is that connection to the moon and our emotions. It all works so perfectly well together. Then the third quarter moon, dun da da da, more gratitude, my friends, more gratitude to practice. It helps us connect with the divine if that is something you're called to do. I know I talk about it that way because I do have that connection, but I also want to be mindful of where I was before and did not have that connection. And these practices are what helped me make that and develop and strengthen that connection without having that association with a denomination, with a particular religion, with a particular church. And I think that is where a lot of resistance comes from when we start to hear, if you were like where I was, or, it's like, oh, this spiritual practice. We frequently, at least how I did, make that connection to religion or religious or something that does not resonate with you. Where if you can start these practices with the open mind and realize that it doesn't have to have an association with a specific denomination. It doesn't have to have a connection with a specific pantheon or deity or anything at all, then it starts to open that awareness that I can make this my own. It doesn't have to fit into a box. And how much freer does that feel when your resistance is coming from it has to look this way, or it has to fit with this religion, or it has to fit within this set established framework? It doesn't. There can be components of everything in your spiritual practice. And that is how I have developed. There are so many various components that I have been intrigued with, that I have tried, and it's like, oh, well, that fits too. And maybe not every time. Maybe it is every time. Who knows? Who knows? But let's get going. So that's the third quarter moon. So those are the 4 main phases. It, like I said, it does line up with new waxing. During the waxing is the first quarter moon, then full, then waning is where the third quarter moon falls in, and then back down around to new. So those are the 4 looked at a little bit differently. Okay, next, if this is gratitude and you're already practicing it, or then you've gotten to the point where, yes, I see how this develops, and now I'm feeling this call, or I'm curious to learn another layer of working with the moon and a spiritual practice. Working with the moon is a great way to tune in to divine energy, divine guidance, if that is something that calls to you. And practices that I incorporate, I'm not going to go into all of them, but practices that I feel help and that I'm here to maybe share a little bit about with you are working with goddesses, working with angels, archangels, chanting. I don't have a specific one on that because I'm still actually in the process. I'm learning by following and learning from other people at that point, or at this point. And also, excuse me, essential oils and your chakras. All of these can be components in whatever fashion, again, works for you. I'm going to keep coming back to that and making it work for you. I'm not here to say this is how to do it. I am here to share some information with you and see if it attracts you or not. So let's see. Goddesses, or a god, just goddesses. Let's just start there. Stop trying to make it more complicated, Patty. Is divine feminine energetic forces. They are the way that I see it, that I have learned, that makes sense for me, the embodiment, the physical or visual embodiment of the divine feminine energy from the moon, feminine energy from a deity, but it's that embodiment and representation of that feminine energetic force. And sometimes that might help too in realizing, okay, it doesn't have to be associated with a religion or deity. It's a divine feminine energy. If universe or spirituality or deity, divinity, if those words really do not resonate with you, how about working with energy? Higher level feminine energy. And when I say divine, I just mean because it's not here on this earthly plane. They exist in a different plane, divinity. So that's why I say divine, but think of it as feminine, higher level energy, if that is what resonates with you. And you can, yes, I wrote down what I was learning. They reside in a higher dimension than ourselves. And that can be, as we go up through, the atmosphere and the heavens, maybe those are where the different dimensions are. That part, I don't know. I'm not a metaphysical scientist. I don't know, but that's how I see it. Okay, so you can choose to work with goddess energy at the lunar throughout the lunar cycle. The first way to do that is to tap into, at the new moon, just a goddess that is associated with the moon. And goddesses that are associated with the moon this is where I have to look at my, okay, my prior notes. There's many cultures have various goddesses that are associated with the moon. The Romans have the goddess Diana. The Greek goddesses Selena and Artemis are associated with the moon. In Catholicism, there is Mary is sometimes or has sometimes been referred to as the Moon Queen. This was new information for me when I started researching this and learning about the goddess energy connected with the moon. And when I read that, I thought of a family member that has the whole time, I've known them since I was a child, has had a statuette of the Virgin Mary in their home. And that goes perfectly along with the fact that they are Catholic, and that Mother Mary is a prominent figure in the Catholic religion. But when I started learning about Mary sometimes being referred to as the Moon Queen, I learned, or I heard, that she is frequently depicted with or alongside or somewhere has the moon when in her representations. And so the next time I was at this family member's house, I looked at the statue more closely, and sure enough, Mary, the statue, is standing on the moon. I think the crescent moon, where she's kind of, it's kind of comes up around her feet. I think that's how it was, but it was there. I had seen this statue my whole life. Never had I made that connection until I learned about it. And then I went to go check. And it's like, yes, hello, it is. There is a representation. Hi, Marilyn. I was so just like going. I didn't see her. Hello. No worries at all. The cool part is that you've taken this challenge or workshop before. I did change this up a little bit. So you'll notice that it's not quite the same format that I did last time. So that'll be cool to see. But I'm talking about making that connection using goddess energy at the new moon. So specific goddesses, like I said, I was at Mary. The Egyptian culture, Isis is associated with the moon. And then in the Hindu culture, Kali or Karli, sometimes with the R sound, Karli and Durga are moon goddesses. So you can try working with these moon goddess energies at the new moon to help you set intentions. Or what you can also do is, let me make sure, because this is where I don't want to give you wrong information, and make sure that the way I wrote it, I stick to it. You can use each new moon to connect with a different goddess that is associated with that zodiac of the new moon. Like we talked about yesterday, the new moon is in a different zodiac sign every single month. Well, that zodiac sign has a goddess associated with it. And in the sisterhood, like I talked about the new moons through the zodiac yesterday, within the sisterhood, we are working with that. I should say it's part of the information I provide. And each new moon, I provide information of the associations, these things exactly that I talked about at the beginning. Goddesses, angel or archangels, and essential oils and chakras. I provide the information of all these associations with that specific zodiac sign. And then it's kind of like a Mad Libs. If you want to pick and choose which ones resonate with you for your new moon intention and to work with through that lunar cycle, fabulous. If you don't, fabulous also. So you can stick with goddesses specifically associated with the moon, or you can go through different ones as we go through the zodiacs. And for example, I am not going to go into the list of them because I've already talked long. It would take me way longer than the time frame that I have. But we are working through them in the Sisterhood New Moons Through the Zodiac, program within the membership. So what did we have? We just had Virgo. The last new moon we had was a Virgo new moon, and that was Ceres, who is a Roman goddess, is associated with the Virgo new moon. This coming up one in Libra is the Hindu goddess Lakshmi, who is specifically associated with the Libra new moon. So you see how it can have so many layers of working with the moon and developing a spiritual practice. So let's keep going. So now we started with gratitude as being a spiritual practice and how to practice gratitude throughout the lunar cycle. Then we talked about adding in that layer of the working with goddess energy, because if divine and spiritual and all these terms do not resonate with you, you can think of goddesses as feminine energetic forces. If that resistance that you have is specific association with a religion or culture or deity. So think of them as energetic, higher level energetic forces, which are the embodiment, physical embodiment or visual embodiment of the lunar energy of the moon, right? Because of that feminine energy, which is the moon. I get so like wrapped up. So like I really have to keep myself in check here, because like I could go on and on. So okay, so there's that. Then there are also archangels that are associated with each new moon, zodiac sign of the new moon. That is included in the information I provide for each new moon. And so 12 zodiac signs, there are 12 archangels that are associated. For example, I'm not going to go into that one either, because that's another long chat. But this bracelet was made by my friend Yvonne, and I think it's Lavender. Is it Lavender Corner? I'm so bad at knowing names of businesses of my friends. But she made this bracelet, which is associated with the Archangel Ariel. And Ariel is the Aries guardian angel. I'm an Aries. So I have this bracelet that gives me that connection. And it has little angel wings. They're upside down. Little angel wings. And then it has things that are connected with the Archangel Ariel, who is the Aries guardian angel. So I wear that as that connection. So gratitude, goddesses, archangels, and then I also provide information on a essential oil that is associated with that zodiac energy. And that is something that is tangible, right? All these other things are ethereal and as you know, is that the right word? Well, ethereal, energies. We don't visually see. We can see representations. We can meditate and see images of the goddesses or archangels. There are obviously cards and depictions of them, but essential oils are, I can show you a bottle of an essential oil, and you can open up that bottle of essential oils and smell it. And that in and of itself raises or changes your vibration. It makes you feel better normally, right? Hi, Janice. See, I just get so caught up. I'm not seeing people jump off. So you can take that aroma and smell it. And then if you use then essential oils with meditation as well, that helps you, that gives you that extra layer. When I use them, it helps me get into that zone. It's like, okay, I have the oil, I'm in my spot. It gets me in that zone quicker. So you can diffuse the essential oils as you meditate. And like I said, there's essential oils that are associated with each of the zodiac signs and the lunar energies of that zodiac sign. So diffusing it, smelling it, you can also wear it. And now there's a couple ways you can wear the oils. You can make blends and put them in a roller bottle. This is one I'm going to do in an upcoming workshop. That's moonstone, which I've already showed you. Then I'll put oil, a carrier oil and essential oils, and then you can roll it on. Roll it on, and you can also take a whiff of that essential oil. And then you could also just, put a couple drops in your hands, rub your hands together, and, take in that aroma. And if you diffuse them in a room, that also raises the energy, changes the vibration of the room. If you are someone who is sensitive to energy shifts, you will definitely notice a difference using the essential oils. And then chakras, each of the oils, yes, I think it's the oils. Yes, that are associated with which chakra they're tuned into. So each one, there's seven chakras, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, see, sometimes my mind is not where it's on something else, and something very simple throws it completely off. So then there's that. And now, so that, okay, I'm at 35 minutes. So those are the different ways of incorporating levels or layers of a spiritual practice along with the moon. Now, if you want things, again, tangible things sometimes help. You can create either a moon altar, this is another physical representation, or you can incorporate, like I showed you, the crystals, the selenite crystals, the crystals that are associated with the moon in your main altar, if you even choose to have an altar space, because again, not a rule, not required. Then these are ways that I have loved. And when I learned this, it was just like, so I love sharing what I learn with you guys. If you have oil burners, those old school oil burners, ceramic, this can be an altar in and of itself. And if having an altar or a designated space is something that you're not comfortable having in your home or workspace, if you're able to have these things, this is a way of having it mean something to you. You knowing what this is, and who cares? Because sometimes it's not a big deal to have these things out, and sometimes it is, depending on your level of comfort, the people that live with you or work with you. There's so many factors, whether it feels good or safe or comfortable to have these things visible. This is beautiful. So this one, and I'll show you different ways, this one very definitely has the goddess on there, right? Has a depiction of a goddess with the moon. But this one does not. This one simply has stars and moon cutouts. This is a little one. I have a bigger version of this, but I'm actually burning frankincense oil in there right now. So I've been getting that with an aroma as we've been talking. So this one does not. This does not have any, goddess or deity type of associations. And there are some that are completely plain and decorative in other ways. That doesn't matter. It's all about the intention and what it means to you. So this little thing, this beautiful old school little ceramic oil burner can be thank you, Marilyn, the an altar in and of itself, incorporating all four elements. If you choose to incorporate elements in your work, the elements being earth, air, water, and fire. And then there's, spirit as well. But this little beautiful thing incorporates all of them when you use all the components. And how do you say? How is that an altar incorporating all of the elements? Well, if it's ceramic, it's made out of clay. There's your earth element, right? And then I got so excited. I don't even know if I brought all the other stuff. Well, it's not the right size. Yes, here we go. So that's the earth element. Fire comes when you get the tea light and stick it in there and light it. There's the fire element. Then when you burn essential oils, you actually put water in the cup part. You don't want to put the oil by itself because they'll actually char and burn because of the heat. So you put water in here. There's your water element. And then when you put the oils in there and the fire is going and then it evaporates, you can see the steam, little bits of steam, or you can smell the aroma. There's your air. Earth, fire, water, and air, all in this tiny, beautiful little thing. This can be something that you burn at your workspace if you are able to, either at home or, in a physical job, office, or whatever location. You can have this out as a decoration. If that's a concern, like I said, have that out. That's inconspicuous. It makes the area smell good. So you can meditate with, have one in your meditation area, have one at your nightstand. Just be mindful that it does have a candle in there. So You know, whatever that, you know, whatever your safety or your comfort level is, what your space is. You can have one on your nightstand. You could have one in your bathroom as you're getting ready, you know, taking a shower and smelling those aromas that help you make that connection. And then as you're getting ready, you see the physical representation. You see how there's so many layers. There's so many ways to make working with the moon and actually simply develop a spiritual practice. And that's why I included this component in this workshop, because a lot of us have that resistance to spirituality if we've had either a negative or an unfulfilling, it doesn't even have to be negative, religious experience type of thing. And then if it's something that we just don't resonate with. Also, getting my cards to pull our card for today. I waited for the end on purpose. I actually didn't forget it today. I waited for the end to also show a different way, another way of working with cards. So there are oracle decks. I think there are probably tarot decks that are goddess associated as well, but there are oracle decks, and I have one. Of course, it's not going to be a very easy picture to, let's see. I don't know how clear these will be. The deck is the Terra Key or Key. I'm not exactly sure. It's an independent artist. She's based in Australia. So these are not on Amazon. These are not like, what is that? Not mainstream. Anyway, commercially, I don't know what the right word is. She's an independent artist, oracle deck creator, but they're actual pictures of women, and then some have different components. So she's, see, I don't know how to say that one. Papa Twanuku. I am so sorry. I don't know all of them. I don't claim to know how to say all of them, but these are different ones. So it shows actual women and then just having different, you know, traits. Elios, generosity. I'm trying to see one that has like a different, that they also show like a goddess, like, other than just how ethereally beautiful they are. Whereas like Hecate, this one, it's obviously a picture, but she's depicted with an extra set of arms, but it's still a picture. So they're very serene and beautiful. And we have used these as the oracle cards for the card of the day in the sisterhood. I'm sure they'll come back around. You know, I don't have an unlimited supply. I have a lot of oracle and tarot decks. So that is a way to also connect with goddess energy. Learn about them really is how to start. Is there one that resonates with you? Is there one that you are drawn to and want to learn more about? Start with that. Start learning about them, read about them, find a picture on the internet and print it out. See if it resonates with you, if it calls to you. I did have a couple, I've moved things around. I did not prepare that, but I'll put maybe a picture in the group of the ones that I do have. So that is my information about ways to make working with the moon a spiritual practice. And now I will pull our card from Moonology for today, now that I've just transitioned from the goddess oracle deck. So I'll pull our 5th card for today, and then I'll put it together with the other 4 cards that we have pulled and see what that says. So let's see. Day 5 message or inspiration for today. Hi, Lilies. I just saw that it said Lilies. You're so awesome, Janice. You're awesome. We're all awesome. Okay. What is the one for today? What is the one for today? Come on. It never fails. It's so perfect. So the card for today, after we're talking about deities and spirituality and faith and belief, this is not the one that gets pulled every time on this day. Believe in the impossible. The blue moon card. Believe in the impossible. And I just love that. My business is named after the blue moon. And, you know, there's a story as to why, which I won't get into now. I've gotten into several times. So let's go through the cards for today, or this week. For day 1, we had Balance spirituality and practicality. So see, we had that spiritual connection from day one. Balance that. What is spiritual? What is practical? It's not simply about wishing and doing the things that are considered spiritual. We also have to take action. Take practical action that will move us towards. The end of a tough cycle approaches was for day 2. The end of a tough cycle approaches, which is good news, right? Sometimes this feels like it has this, either if it's COVID or some other situation that is resulting because of COVID or not, it's coming to an end. Sometimes they feel like they never will, but they always do. And then the very next one, and we did pull these cards on the same day because I skipped day 2 because I was laughing at myself. A new start is coming. So see, the end of a tough cycle approaches. A new start is coming. Yesterday's card, which we are in the waning phase. What do you need to release? And then today's believe in the impossible. So collectively, that's a great reading, right? Spirituality and practicality. The combination of the two are how we get what we want. This may be the end of a tough cycle. Great time to maybe start developing a spiritual practice. A new start is coming. What do you need to release that has been getting in the way, that you have been maybe avoiding working through, letting go? And then once all that is put together, believe in the impossible. And how awesome, how perfect is that message? And they're always perfect. They're never the same. If you were to go back through in the group and check out prior rounds of this, they're not the same cards, but they're perfect for that moment in time, for the people watching, for the things happening. And pulling it all together. Yes, the blue moon. Oh my gosh, I get excited about that. And that's what my business is named after, because there's a definite connection between a blue moon and my business. So hopefully I will talk about that another day, or I will. I will talk about it. So I will put the cards, photos of the cards in the group as well, so that you can see them and maybe journal on them, see what messages come through for you as you check that, peruse them, maybe meditate on them if you like, have the picture up and check them out. And then also there are a couple of sisterhood members here. I was realizing that our October stuff on October 3rd, which is next Sunday, not this Sunday, is actually going to need to be moved to this Sunday, because next Sunday I'm going to be in Arizona on my way back, and I don't know the timing. At first, I was thinking about doing it and then driving home, but I don't know what our schedule is, how we're wrapping things up there, and what time that will be. And it will be about a 4-hour drive from here to there, or there here. So it's going to be this Sunday, but I'm going to put all that information in the group right after I'm done with this. For those that are not in the sisterhood and you're thinking about it and you're listening and you're seeing the things in the email that are part of it, this is one that we do quarterly, that Be Do Have call that I talked about. October is the beginning of the 4th quarter. So this Sunday, there will be a Be Do Have call to set intentions, to see what we want to accomplish in the next 90 days, how far we can get in the next 90 days, and actually have that head start into 2022. Don't wait till 2022 to start making magic happen. Start now. Use the quarter. Yes, I'm giving him a funny face look. Use the last quarter. Use the last quarter as the ramp, the runway into 2022. How much better does that feel? Like waiting till 2022, feeling like there's no momentum. Get that momentum going now, leading into 22. So there's a Be Do Have call. If that is not what's calling you, we also have in the Blue Moon Magic Tribe Facebook group, which is our ongoing free community, we have our monthly magical mentoring call. And that will be this Sunday. And that is the monthly call where I answer questions. I provide, mentoring and coaching on things that might be coming up. I talk about the theme of the month for the upcoming month and how to maybe incorporate that in your life and how to work with it, what it can do for you, how to try the things and all things magic. That's why they're called magic mentoring calls. I was just thinking they sound like they were pulled for me, right? How awesome is that? And whether you're watching on the replay or, catching this at some later time along the way, some other, other than right this moment, how many other people can probably say that that felt like it feels like those cards were pulled for them? And I'm going to guess that those watching at a different time, maybe if they had watched now live, it wouldn't quite have resonated. But when they do watch it, it will be the perfect time. Those in the sisterhood will tell you, that's always my thing. It's the perfect time. Sometimes we say, oh, I should have waited, or I should have done this sooner, or, oh, if I had learned this before. And I have trained myself. It is the perfect time. It is the perfect time for you. Someone else's time frame is not your time frame. So never worry. That's that faith. That's that belief that develops with a spiritual practice. It's the perfect time. In perfect timing helps me to let go of the attachment. I am human, so I still do fall back into that, oh, why is it taking so long? Or when is this happening? Or when will it show? I am human, but I have developed these practices that I continue to strengthen that get me back into that faith and belief and all things good, love, gratitude, all things good. And so hopefully you can see after these 5 days how all these components are interconnected. It's not simply one or the other, but you are able to personalize them, to individualize them so that it makes sense for you, so that it works for you. And if this is something that does resonate with you, that you want to continue fostering, the sisterhood really is the perfect place for that, because we do that. We have new moon and full moon gatherings. We talk about all these things that I talked about, the goddesses, the archangels, the essential oils, the zodiac energies, the setting intentions in alignment with those zodiac energies to help you along your process of becoming, which is what intention is. So see how all these things I've talked about all week long kind of mesh together. And we have, like I said, in the sisterhood, the Be Do have call, the coaching call for the Libra new moon will be Thursday, the 30th. So this coming up Thursday, a week from yesterday, will be the Libra new moon coaching call, where I talk about all these things, where I talk about the Libra archangel, the Libra goddess, the Libra essential oil, and then you have some time. So the call is on the 30th. The new moon in Libra is on Wednesday the 6th. So see how I time that? You have some time, anywhere from a few days to a week, the way they play out, to see which elements of Libra resonate with you, that you want to maybe gather or incorporate at the Libra new moon to set your new moon intentions in Libra. It is so freaking fabulous how well this all works together. And had I tried to think this up before I got started, I couldn't have. I had to start taking the action to see the results, to see what it is that works for me. And that's why I have tweaked this workshop from a challenge to a workshop. And the workshop component for today, working with the moon as part of a spiritual practice, is see where you are at. Which level of working with the moon as a spiritual practice will you be working on incorporating, strengthening, or making part of what you already have? Starting with making gratitude a regular practice. Gratitude in and of itself is a spiritual practice, so long as you do it and practice it regularly. It opens your heart up to love and forgiveness and belief and all things good. Love is the highest power. So starting with gratitude, incorporating some goddess energy, maybe do some research. Look at the goddesses that I talked about, specifically related to the moon. Diana, no, let me say them right. Diana, Selena, which is spelled with an S, Selena, Artemis, Mary, maybe do some research and learn differently about Mary, Mother Mary, Isis, Kali, which is Kali, or Durga, Durga. Those are the ones specifically associated with the moon that you can start. So find the practice that you will start incorporating. That's the workshop activity. And the journaling activity is to actually start, how did I phrase that? I had it. Oh, that's why I didn't write it down, because I didn't have the cards. Journal through the cards. If you join, you will see my brain is like, whoa, sometimes it is right on it, sitting right here in front of me. That's so you will have a picture of this in the, that's why I said that. Hello, there are reasons for the things I do. May not always seem like it. So journal with the cards. See what comes up through the cards. So you'll have the pictures in the email and in the in the group as well. So this is me, people. And again, if you're interested in look in the sisterhood, we have those calls coming up. I'm going to put that in right here for you as well. Look at that. Look at that. Just if I can get this up quickly enough, I might actually be out of here less than an hour today. They haven't all gone. I think only one or two have actually gone over the hour mark. But do you guys, whether live or on the replay, have questions? Let me know. I love answering questions. You know, I think I do because of like what I talked about at the beginning, where I was not encouraged to ask questions. And when I did, I didn't get something that helped. Now, I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I am able to provide suggestions, or let's look into this, or instead of just that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Oh my goodness. I think I might have some forgiving to do around that. That's just the way it is. Now that I'm saying it like that, maybe I have some forgiveness work to do around that. Sisterhood. Here we go. So thank you guys for being here in whatever capacity you were able to participate. I love having you guys here. I love this workshop, and I am so glad you're here. And if you're in the Moon Magic and Manifesting Workshop group, you are automatically in for when we do the next round. And it will keep evolving and keep, you know, growing. Join the Moon. I always come up with such large titles just because I like alliteration. Manifesting Sisterhood here. And it will give you information, and you can also message me if you need additional information. Simply reply to one of the emails, comment, or send me a message, you know, on Facebook. If you want to email me and you're not on the email list, the email is vision, VISION, at bluemoonmanifestations.com. I will put that here. Email me at vision.com. Make sure it's right. Yes. There we go. So thank you all for being here. I so appreciate you, and I look forward to continuing this work with the moon with you and as part of our community. We are a great group of people, if I do say so myself. We're making great progress, wonderful connections, and putting our magic out there and strengthening it. So that is my workshop, guys. I can't believe it's like the 5th day, the end. I think I've covered almost everything. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care, guys. Love ya.